Hello and welcome to, well, Automation Sunday. I decided, you know what, I am a little bit behind on videos and stuff, so I decided I think I'm gonna do a stream today because it looked like fun and it gives me a chance to, well, build engines that I don't usually get to fit in one video. So yeah, I'm gonna take you through an engine that I built very recently. It's not for a video, it's just more like me going about doing my thing. And one of the things I did was I built a, well, I built a van, so to speak. So I'm currently working on other engines for said van, and I think the engines that I'm gonna be building today are mostly gonna be van oriented. Like my current engine that I have in this particular van, if it can load one day, would be nice. It is a V6. It's a pretty run-of-the-mill V6, so to speak. It makes 240 horsepower. It's not the world's most powerful V6, but it's got enough power to be a workhorse, so to speak. Naturally aspirated, it is a 90-degree V-block. It has tubular headers, just the way I like to build my engines. Mostly standard parts, so to speak. It is, well, it's a 5-valve per cylinder setup, so that's a way to go about it, but it's, as you can see, it's pretty basic. Because one thing I wanted to do is keep the costs low, but wanted to add tubular mid manifolds. So that is something I kept in mind when I built this engine. It's not meant for high horsepower, given that it's a single intake, meaning it's a single throttle body going to, well, 6 individual runners. So it's a way of doing it. I'm just looking for where I selected it. Here we go. So it's multi-port, single intake, just the way I like to do it. And as you can see here, it's not that expensive. Where's the expense part? There we go. It's not that expensive, it's pretty cheap for an engine, so it's not too terrible. But yeah, 84% reliability, not that much the cost of service, pretty fuel efficient, runs an 86 octane, standard stuff. Now, this van so far has me quite busy, because I've already put tail lights on it. Oh, and that's the other thing. Automation added new tail lights and headlights and stuff. So, where is it? There we go. Here's some of the new headlights and tail lights. These are just the headlights, but I'll show you the tail lights in just a moment. So as you can see here, the bus is rocking some of those headlights. Let me click on one. There we go. Some of these. I think they look pretty cool. And just the standard old regular intake on the front. Now for the rear, I did something special. Also new lights. We took some of these lights and those lights. So we had, where's my control here? There we go. So I can turn on my front lights. As you can see, they're pretty bright. I'll turn on the tail lights as well. Those are looking pretty good. Now for brake lights, there we go. Looking pretty spicy from the rear. Indicators are not that bright, they're pretty bright for what they are. I think it still looks cool for what it is. Also reverse lights, just because. So yeah, if somebody can't see you from a mile, well, half a mile away, it's their own problem. But anyway, as you can see here on the bus, I've got 3 separate indicators on the front, just the way I like to do things. Now, back to the engine debacle. Oh, and also running lights, some of those do. I'm gonna turn them off because they are freaking bright. So this is going to be my intermediary van. It is priced right around, where is my price indicator thingy? Okay, not here. Believe it should be here. There we go. It's pretty good. It weighs 1.49 ton. Can tow quite a bit. Also can carry over a ton, which that surprised me quite a bit. Performance stats, we can do 232 km an hour, which I don't believe. Do 0 to 100 in 6.92 seconds. We can do 80 to 120 k's an hour in 3.97. Quarter mile time of 14.9. It's not that bad. Then there is the full kilometer. So that's not too bad, 26.6 seconds. It only comes in at a measly $31,000. Now, I'm planning on making more expensive versions of this with wheels and all sorts. I can make one like the Ford Performance, well, it's Ford Performance, but it's a Ford, what's that thing's name? The Torino Sport. Don't know if anybody has seen one of those. Those things look freaking nice. I love how they took a panel van, in a sense, and made it into a semi-performance orientated van. I think it looks awesome. Now that's my direction for, well, this, but this is like a mid-tier base model. I don't know, I just used for the naming I just used the regular automation naming system. So this I literally just added base plus because that's what it is. It's a 240 horsepower van with a V6. It's also quite heavy on fuel, coming in at 13.2 liters per 100 k's, which is freaking nuts. That's V8 territory. And yes, I'm planning on building a V8 of this as well. So, now we've got the general basics down of this, so now let's go make multiple variants of it. So we're going to build every engine individually first before we do anything else. So, okay, so I need to make a let's copy it. Trim. Yeah, okay, I can do trim and variant. So this, I believe, is the original, and this is going to be the lower tier one. So for my lower tier vehicle, I'm simply just going to do an inline 4 or an inline 6, depending on what I can fit. I believe it is going to be an inline 4. So this is usually the process that not many people see behind the scenes. Whenever I decide to build an engine for a chassis, I go through these steps of, okay, what chassis am I building, what type of engine would suit this chassis very well, and all that. So for our chassis that we're going to be building now, it's going to be I would say the basest base model, so to speak, if that makes sense. It's going to be a pretty spicy engine still. I'm going to aim for around 200 or so horsepower, but not a lot of weight. I think I'm going to go with the 5-valve head. Per cylinder, that is. We would do a performance orientated unit. Not making it too expensive though, because that is going to be nuts. Again, forged everything. Because I've just learned that forged parts on these engines make a big difference. Don't know if I should go turbocharger. Yeah, let's just go turbocharger. Ooh, maybe we do sequential turbos. That's a way of going about it. It's more expensive, but I think overall it should be good. I think so. Injection, simply gonna do multi-point DFI, single intake. With 1 plus. Quality. So there's gonna have to be a regular engine. We'll do a performance mid intake. That can work. I think we're just gonna. I am gonna do cats though, which performance orientation is not that good on this. It's also very expensive though. So as is, this thing would run pretty good in that van. One thing that does bother me is how low our rev limiter is set. As I need a rev limiter that can hold the amount of revs that I need to be achieving. So maybe do a forged steel crank would hold the power. No, wouldn't. Yeah, no. Okay, that's expensive. Okay. It makes the same amount of horsepower as the V6, the naturally aspirated V6. But I can rev it a little higher, so that does make a big difference. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think this engine would be pretty good as is. I just think it's very expensive though. In the game of expense versus horsepower, this is going to be a pain. But I think so far it's doing pretty good. Only at 5,600 bucks. I think I'm going to leave it there on this engine. And I do plan on making performance variants of these engines, like the V6. I'm also going to build a V8 soon, but we'll wait until then. But of course, signature running for my engines is all getting a dyno test. So let's go. I think that's pretty good for this engine. Coming in at $2,524, that's not terrible. So, next engine on my list is going to be wouldn't say a full performance engine, I'd say it's going to be a pretty mild engine, naturally aspirated. Which I believe is going to be a smaller engine with a bigger rod. Meaning small bore, bigger rod. I think that would be smart. Let's just go this way. I'm going to keep it an 86mm bore, and then I'm going to do about a 90. Let's see, 98mm. Let's just go for 100. 101 would be 101.5. I think thereabout is a 4.7 liter engine, so let's make it 5 liters. The bore a little larger. I don't want the block to be too large, that's the other thing I need to watch out for. So there we go. 5 liters exactly. So I'm going to do a pushrod style engine because of space constraint around the heads, and also the internal area of that engine engine compartment is going to be pretty tight. So let's just do performance heads. That on quality slider 1. Okay, let's do a billet heavy steel crank. So I don't really want to do a booster application, so I don't think billet steel heavy parts are going to be necessary. Of course, we're going to run our money dampener on the front, VVT on this engine. Fun fact, I've very recently completed, well not completed, but helped to complete a Ford Cologne V6, or the Essex V6, which that's a pretty damn interesting and very simple engine. I do highly recommend if you have time and also the energy to get one, I would do it and just go learn how to build those because it is fun. So yeah, not only in games do I build engines, I now build engines in real life too. So that helps. It was fun though. Yeah, we're costing less than our turbocharged engine, so that is another thing we need to consider. So I'm going to change these for some lighter parts. Titanium rods. Let's do the middle of the road piston. Okay, let's go with those. Yeah, I don't need to rev it to the moon though. Yeah. That's a little more expensive, but I believe it's gonna work wonderfully. Right. Now let's put a sporty camshaft in it. What is currently blocking our engine? Exhaust. Of course. Ooh, should I do long tube headers? I think those would be better. I just want to slap a supercharger on it so bad, but it's not going to be feasible for this engine. So let's lower compression a little bit. And that does not help. Cam. Should at least make close to 500 horsepower. At least. Or should I do per... Ooh, this is going to be interesting. I think we need to do zoomies on this thing. Or ITBs rather. I wish we could do zoomies out the side. That would be wild. But no. Let's just do trumpets. Making almost 400 horsepower on just trumpets. Well, this thing has the bottom end to go a lot higher on horsepower. I'm making 450 newtons, which that's pretty good. So I think I'm gonna need to add more timing. My timing does not help as much as I thought. Maybe a higher octane fuel? That works. How's everything else look? The valves are severely stressed. So I'm gonna try to keep my engines around 4,000. Well, the V8 around $4,000. Don't really want to go any higher, because we are gonna break stuff. Money wise and also engine wise. Wow. I wonder if I should slap a supercharger on it. I don't think that's a smart idea. But we'll see. But I mean, NA, this thing does look wild. So let's just change the exhaust then. Since we're going this way anyway. Eesh, okay, this engine's getting expensive. So I think I'm just gonna slap a supercharger on it and then change a whole bunch of stuff. Pull all the cam profile out of it. Put it at 40. 70 stiffness of the valves. It is knocking though, which that's not good. Why is it running? Okay, no. Switch to a single plane intake. Making 500 horsepower. Root style, yeah, okay, that will work a lot better, I believe. Pull that out of it. Why is the valve still an issue? Okay. Well, at this rate we can pretty much make 700 horsepower and it not exploding that much. It's not costing us a lot of money. It's only 4,670, sorry, $4,768.6. I mean, that's not terrible. Two-bar boost, valves are a little bit spicy. Pull the timing out of it, a bit more exhaust in it. It's not that bad. If I drop the compression, is aim for around 650 for this engine. As this isn't as race machine as I want it to go, so we'll see. I think it will be fine. There we go. Let's see what it sounds like. Well, there we go. Sounds pretty good. I think so. So now we've got our V8 as well. Our more performance oriented V8. It isn't as performance as I plan on getting with it, but it is close enough. I might do a 7.5 liter engine though. Might. But anyway. On to building our van. So let's also make another copy of this one. There's the original, there's the one we cloned as well, so let's switch the engines. Switch the engines, change up the trims and do all that stuff. The more nitty gritty stuff that people don't often see. Engine, change. Existing engine. That's a wild engine, that's our V6. This is our inline 4. Everything else is fine. Wonder what the price is gonna be now. It gets a little heavier, can tow a little more weight, and also carry a little more weight, so that is a thing that we need to be concerned with. Okay, so the prices are very similar. So now to change up all the styling. This is just base. So what am I gonna make it more basic of? Oh yeah, I didn't put exhaust on the last one. Work in progress. It'll be fine, I think. I'm just gonna do a slash cast for this one. Something like that. Keeping it simple. I actually wonder how it picks up for price wise. What is the usual budget demographic? 21,000 give or take. Okay. So my van is a little more expensive than that. So it would fall in this category. Interesting. I'm not gonna do much different from the other one. So the prices are like 800 bucks or so difference between this one and the other one. So that is fine by my standards, at least. Now it's time for V8 noises. So this one I'm gonna label performance mid or PM. It's gonna have flashy wheels and all that kind of stuff. Existing engine, V8. How much room is there in that engine, bro? Curious. Oh, okay, that's getting closer to full. The length of it, so this way it is a problem, but this way and that way is not an issue. Interesting. But anyway, what is the specs now? Weighs 1.7 ton, which is quite a lot. Makes 654 horsepower. Does almost 200 mile an hour. 200 mile an hour is 322 kilometers an hour. That's not terrible. Quarter mile slowed down though, that's because I think it spun the wheels. Can tow a massive load more. That's good. How much more is it though? $50,000. Goodness. But also gets 22 liters to 100 k's. Goodness. Yeah, no. Now to make it performance oriented. Put a little bit of a chin spoiler on it. As far as I know, this is what some car companies do as well. They take one of their more basic commuter things and make it performance orientated. I think that looks okay. Put a little bit of a... What if I should build like a super van type thing? Will I do that? Yes. That looks okay for what it is. A little bit of a lip at the back. Something like that. Yeah, okay, I can do that. That's the other thing I forgot. The fuel door. I'm gonna make this one a little lower, put a little bit bigger wheels and tires on it. I think 4 wheels I'm gonna do like those. A little bit of a performance oriented rear bumper. Almost like a rear bumper. Something like that. Over here. That. way too much into the wheels, but okay. And now we just move on the other side. Something like... Okay, they're not meant to be like that, but no. I'm not doing something like that. Let's do... simple single. Yeah, something like that. It's not in your face and like insane, but it's still, if you notice it, you notice it. If that makes sense. Doesn't look too terrible. I like it. Simple small things like that add up a long way. So, because it's that much more wild, we do bigger wheels and tires. I should probably add a transfer case as well, but I don't think people are gonna take delivery vans off-road. I don't think so. I could be wrong. Or I could be right. I don't know. But also slamming it is not a bad idea. Something like that. That looks pretty good. I think those wheels are a little bit tacky. I'm going to change those. Let's do those. More performance orientated. Yeah. Nice. So there we go. What is our final price? For a ridiculous van. Also can't carry as much anymore, which that's, well, yeah. Still 58,800 bucks. Sorry, 50,800 bucks. That's still reasonable, I think. For a full van, not bad. So now we're gonna do an HD series version of that. So this van I'm gonna make an HD version. Something with a bigger engine. Not a V8, but something similar. Makes a crap load of power. Can also hold a crap load of stuff. So I believe my candidate is gonna be... let's just see. Inline 6 I know how to build a diesel-like engine, but inline 4s have been the one thing I've been doing a lot for building them for high horsepower. Let's do this one as well. Put a humongous rod in it. There we go. This thing is now humongous. Single cam. 3 valve head. Do that. Is this a belt driven inline? Yeah, it's a belt driven. Usually you have 2 timing gears with diesel engines, as I was told, and some petrol engines too. You have, with your front cover, you have there. You have chains. You either have a chain, a belt, or gears. I like the gear style because the gear style systems also have a fuel pump attached to it on the one side. But yeah, that's just the extent of my knowledge about them. And also, the fuel pump, I believe, turns at what is half the speed of the camshaft. In order to time it correct, I believe it's so, because the camshaft turns half the speed of the crankshaft, is what I've been told. Accurate it is, don't know. It's still cool to know or to understand, very much. I can do that, but I'm not in this for a petrol style engine. Diesel is the way. Compound turbos. variable, variable, because compound turbo. Yes. There's the fuel pump. So usually you don't have it on a belt, you usually have it on a chain or gear driven, as I said. So yeah. This is apparently the closest thing you have to diesel outside of compressed gas. But compressed gas is a completely different fuel type, but again, that's just what is told to me, so to speak. So yeah, anyway. Enough of me rambling, let's just continue building this engine. What is exploding? Explosions. 6,000 RPM is a little much for this engine. I would have dropped that to like 4. Let's do 4.8. More fuel, it says. So this build isn't 4 horsepower, this one's going to be all torque all the way. Tiny back housings on turbos. Also going to take majority of the camshaft out of it, or the cam profile. Should up the compression a lot. I've got boost for that. So my final torque value I'm hoping for is around 700 to 1000 newtons. I believe in the current form it will reach that very quickly. But the other thing I need to keep in mind is it needs to be able to carry that torque. Because if it doesn't carry that torque, what's the point in making so much torque? That's the thing. More fuel. Again. There we go. It's making a bigger difference. Just equal it to the turbochargers. So we know we don't blow those to smithereens. I'm gonna up my compression, see if it helps. Nope. That's freaking wild. Hello, galvanized square tube pipe, steel pipe, sorry. How are you, man? Or whatever. Yeah, today we're just messing with engines, as majority of you know. Also, big mechanical diesel pump on a petrol engine. I wish it was a diesel. Goodness, I wish it was a diesel. That's good to hear. So yeah, anyway. Compound turbos do magic. We're actually building it for a van I'm currently building. So, yeah. These engines, but anyway. Awesome, awesome. What was I busy doing? Yeah, no, making power. Okay. Trying to achieve 800 newtons for that van should be good for the HD version of it. Yeah, no, I agree. This one's a 3 liter though, so it's massive. As you can see, massive stroke, tiny bore, so just the way I like my engines to be. I'm a bit of a diesel guy. Okay, we're going to 1000 newtons then, since this engine is cooperating quite well. Yeah, I know, it's a big engine. You missed the crucial part. I built a V8 a little while ago. It's a pretty nice V8. Doesn't make a ton of horsepower, but it makes enough to... Well, yeah. I'll show you in a minute. Just quickly building this engine. Almost done with it though. Is the volume okay? Is it a little soft, a little too loud? What's up with it? If you can let me know, it would be awesome. Awesome, thank you for that. Awesome, 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 awesome. So, 953 newtons, it's all good. Let's see. You're nothing. Only turbocharger. There we go. Okay, let me quickly go fix that. Up that a little bit on both sides. There we go. I should be fine, I think. Okay. So now we've built our inline 4. Now let's go get the vehicle sorted. Oh yeah, here's that V8 I was telling you about. Pretty wild little thing. Yeah, 5 liter. Only makes 650 horsepower, but it's good enough for a van. So yeah. Speaking of van. Thank you. There we go. So, base model of this van is a simple V6. And a more base model is a, well, a little higher base model is a regular inline 4. That inline 4 makes 250 horse, has sequential turbos, simple engine. And now it's time for the HD version of this van. It does to a degree. It was one of my inspirations though, so thank you for noticing that one. I need to make this thing an HD version of it, so it's the reasons why it's got a big engine. Also need to change the suspension, all that jazz. So unlock that. So this is going to be a coil rear. It needs to hold horsepower and also, well, weight. because this is the biggest version of the van I'm gonna figuratively sell. So yeah, I just wish I could have a dually. That would be fun. Like Ford did with the what's the thing's name? The Transit vans, but also yeah, no, it is very very Ford inspired. I like it that way. Also, automation added new lights, front and rear. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I wanted to go check how much this thing's gonna cost. Weighs 1.6 ton, so that's good. Okay, that's a little... that's annoying. Until 1.1, can't carry a lot. That's annoying. To fix that. Oh, that's... I wish I could help, but at the moment I'm a little bit stuck as well, so no. Unfortunately, I cannot do anything about that. But better things are coming for everybody. I believe so. But anyway, it's still an awesome game. I do highly recommend it, but only if you can. That's the thing. But anyway, that's better. Loading capacity is 1.4. Carrying capacity is well, towing capacity is 1.1. Okay, I'm back. Shit, man, I did not. Fuck, okay. Yeah, I hear what you say, but just know there's a lot better things out there. Just know that your turn is coming to do better and be better. Everybody's turn is coming. Whether you're living through it or walking by it, it's up to you. I know I'm getting philosophical and getting a little too real here, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. I can sympathize. That's all I can do. You got support from the guy who just loves his engines and loves to build vans and weird things, because it keeps me happy. And if I can manifest a community and find like-minded individuals to do the same, I am more than happy and very honored that people stick around for it. So, I know it's a little more philosophical than I would like, but it's just what it is. But anyway, you're welcome. Now, what exhaust is gonna work on this? Okay, why is this not working? Why are you a pain? Why? I did select an exhaust, didn't I? Yes. It's awesome, awesome. They said his name is Grog TV. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely go check him out. Thanks for the recommendation. We'll 100% go check him out. Okay. Well, that's annoying. But anyway. Oh, I eventually found this. It was something I was looking for, so... I wonder if there's a way for me to have dually rear wheels. Because that would be wild. Let's just see. Can I find it? Near. Okay, well, whatever. I think I think we actually need to go build a wild van. Something with a big... Yeah, no, big exhaust goes burr. I am still gonna do an exhaust. Even though it doesn't pick it up, but still. For some reason it decided it is not in the mood to work. But anyway. I think for the HD version of that van, I'm gonna go search for a chassis that is humongous. Meaning that has like big sprinter van energy, so to speak. I hate using those words, but it is that simple. Heavy delivery. I just wish it was longer. If that van was a lot bigger, the body was a lot bigger, then I would be using it. Let's find one that will work. No. Everything except van. I have to go find Vanzilla. A bus can work, but eh. I also like, yeah, like a big crafter. Well, basically the Mercedes and the VW is the same thing. Don't know if you looked at the Crafter 50 and the big Sprinter. They're basically the same thing if you look at them from the right angles. The front, the rear, even the interior is a lot the same. So I don't know what's happened there. Hey, there's a VW van. It's not the right VW van. Oh dear model. Okay, we are way past the time period I want to be messing with. They really made this thing in 75. Goodness, that's old. Hey, it is a big van. There we go. This is a Sprinter style van. Yeah. Let's do aluminum, ladder frame. We got HD ladder frame. Engine. Oh, not digital. It actually does, yeah. To some degree it does. Big and blocky. Interesting. Yeah, I looked at it, but it isn't one I would use for what I would call a big van. Like a big van, like the Crafters and stuff like that. That's the closest I can get. Because if you look at all the other body styles available, there's not a lot of them that are, except these, but those are not all that I want to use. Also, here's the Ford vans you were speaking of, the Diagonal Line vans. Here we go. Those are Utes. Or doesn't want to give away too much, but it's called the Bucky where I'm at. So yeah. There's more Utes. There's the weird Econoline, first gen Econoline buses. I'm a little bit of a van guy, so yeah. Make what you want with that information. The old station wagon vans. Old Morris Minor style vans. These are the original I believe these are F series vans, but I can't remember if they were part of the 100 family, 200 family, 300 family, meaning 350 and so on. I can't remember which one it was. And then there are these. These are my absolute favorites. I think I'm going to use one of these. Because they are weird and wacky. Just the way I like it. But we are going to have to use a V8 engine though. It would be a sacrilege if we don't use a V8. So yeah, we're gonna make this thing rear wheel drive just like the big man intended. There we go. Okay. Why? Okay, this is peculiar. What the hell? Yeah, okay, there we go. It does to a degree, yeah. I'm just gonna say V8 because V8 rules. Now we're gonna make a monster engine, yeah. No, I know what you see, what you're saying about the Beetle. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's all good. I know what you mean. Anyway, V8 noises. No rod, freaking huge displacement. Fine, we'll do something proper this time. Would be 8 liters, goodness. Actually, yeah, I can still achieve my engine displacement I want. I'm just gonna have to use... Why? It's not that large. Yeah, giggity. 8.3 liters is fine. This is gonna be an ITB engine. Because my philosophy about V8 is it should be able to rev but still make a crap load of torque. And besides, who doesn't love the sound of ITBs? I love it. And fun fact, if you ever drive a car with ITBs, yeah, the throttle, if it's mechanical ITBs, yeah, the throttle's heavy. Like, you don't realize exactly how heavy it is until you drive one. No catch this time because, nope. Yeah, exactly. Only 72 liters, not that big. So casually the size. How many times larger is it the standard size today? Standard size engine today is about 1.8 liters, give or take. If you really think about it. How much can I have? 8200 RPM. Goodness. For that large of an engine. But anyway, horsepower. There we go, 1000 horsepower. Let me change the fuel. E85. What is broken? Consider using higher compression. Oh, is that so? Okay. More RPM, yes please. If the rods decide to fly out the side of the block, it'll be fine. Yes. Horsepower is my friend and I don't care. Can you imagine you hear one of these coming by you without headers, without cats or anything like that? I've listened to a V8 without exhaust manifolds on it, without a full exhaust on it. That thing was wild. Thanks to that engine builder friend of mine. He's a lot. I'm a lot like him, but he's a lot older than me. So yeah, we share a passion about V8s, and also anything that is engine building related. Because I can't get enough of it. I will never get enough of it. Have never gotten enough of it. So yeah. So what is not happy on this engine? Exhaust. Of course it is the exhaust. You have one of the rarest places on earth that doesn't care about catalytic converters. That's freaking wild. The vehicles also make a lot more power without cats though, which that is exactly why I don't like catalytic converters. Well, let me rephrase that. You do get catalytic converters that you can make a little more horsepower out of your engine. Even when you have cats on it, you just have to push a little harder than you would normally do without it. So it's not bad to have them on, but it's also not good to have them on, let me put it that way. Sure, if you want to comply to emission standard and all that crap, but in my opinion, any engine without it is better off in the long run. Because it doesn't put as much back pressure, it doesn't wear the valves as much, because that's the other thing why I don't like catalytic converters, because your valve stems and your valves get worn badly. Because these boys will wear out very quickly. Your valves in general. Like I've assembled one of these engines, meaning one of these style heads, overhead valve engines. I've done it. It's freaking wild. But anyway, this is the reason why they wear out. So much combustion pressure that exits the chamber, that's fine. But it's all that back pressure that comes from that cat. Put a high flow cat on it. It's because of those cats that it backs up and it messes the engine up. Like, yeah, that's the other reason why I don't like them. But anyway, that's just my rant on it. So yeah. Anyway, horsepower. That's what I was busy doing. Alright. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Like, like modding cars in general, anywhere in the world it's still an issue. I don't know why it's so much of an issue, because if we're getting down, so let me put this out there. Tinfoil hat conspiracy theory hat is currently on, because it's gonna get weird. So, my belief, this is just my opinion. It comes from a regular guy on the internet. I think that people that build cars in general can sympathize with the idea of no catalytic converters, no silencers, none of that, for something that you want to have like 700 to 1000 horsepower on, without it being constricted or without pushing the internal or the internals that hard. I know it's a little bit more technical if I put it that way, but my opinion, anybody that has a remote interest in engines, cars or anything like that should be able to understand that the emission stuff is just a power play. If you really go look at it, it's a power play. I know not a lot of people would agree with me on that, but if you look at it from a basic point of view, it is a power play. But anyway, I'm not gonna get too deep into that. I'm currently loving this engine too much, because it's huge and it is probably gonna sound wild, so let's listen to it. Well, there we go. That thing sounded just the way I thought it would. Big and American. Just the way I like my engines to be. And anyway, 8.3 liters, 1281 horsepower, naturally aspirated. Yes, exactly. A proper V8. I like these. This thing is still my favorite shape. I love it. Anyway. Because I am not a person who likes an automatic. I like my manual. Automatic is nice for something that you don't drive as often. I like my manuals for when I do drive it often. I'm gonna put sport tires on this thing. I should be able to mess with it a lot. Should be able to. Stretch. Haha. Yes, the big bus I was looking for. That would work. Making these tires humongous. Ah, that's not terrible. So the HD steel rims. Quality slider through the roof. This is basically a blank check vehicle. Because it's going to be expensive because of the engine, the transmission, the time and effort it goes into making it the right way, my opinion. So yeah, loaded. I would probably export them to Beam. I do have Beam. I've not played Beam in a long time. But yeah, I think maybe if I have enough time on the stream, yeah, okay, yeah, we can go mess with it in Beam. I'll just make sure that everything is good before I go mess with it in Beam, because I don't have a strong PC, so well, at the moment, let me put it that way. Then once I move it to Beam, then we can go mess with it and see how it performs, all that stuff. So yeah, awesome. Let's see. Let's just do. I want to see how low this thing's gonna get. Okay, it's not as low as I thought it would be, but it'll be fine. Weighs 1.6 tons, makes 1,200 horsepower. So yeah, costs $461,000. Goodness, that would be fun. Can do over 362 kilometers an hour. That's good. Loading capacity is wild. Towing capacity is wild. I might have to go test that. And luckily for me, they do have that. There we go. What the There we go. Just wanted to say something wrong. Never that high. There we go. Awesome. So where's the exhaust thing? Oh, they're going upwards. Time to make my abomination a real thing. I want to see how the body sits with the engine in it. Let's just pull that off. There's plenty of room. What were they on about? I can fit a 10 to 20 liter engine in there all day. What the hell? Anyway. Massive. Anyway. Front lights. Yeah, no. You understand that during this time period there wasn't really a way to do something, right? There was ways to do something. So that's not modeled to exact spec, but I understand where the humor comes from. Because it's comedy gold. There we go. Make sure you can see at night. Okay, it officially has a face. Fine. I'll let it have a face. Okay, fine. I'll do that. So let's make it a redneck. See. Ooh, some of these would look good. Okay, now it just needs a big front tooth or two. Yeah, I know it looks goofy, but it's still gonna do its thing though. Yes, there we go, square teeth. Turn that magnetic stuff off because it's gonna drive me insane. Yeah, there we go. Oh fuck you. There we go. Ah, there we go. There you go. Now it has teeth. I love my abomination. Actually looks like a BMW from the front now. The two girls that way. Yeah, my abomination. Ooh, interesting lights. Also, wanted to say those new tail lights. These are those weird new tail light things. They added those Mazda lights, didn't they? Those are the Mazda lights used on that weird Mazda thing that caught fire tragically. I can't remember the thing's name. What's the freaking thing's name? I can't remember anyway. I think I was gonna do simple lights like that. Same with the indicators do. Oh, they added a few more new things. Cool. Ring light indicators. It works. That's good. Whoa, okay. Hold on just a moment. Sorry for the interruption. I was a little busy with people around me. But anyway, as I was saying, I'm gonna put them in here. There we go. The goofy van that has a face. Good. Wonder if I should do bullhorns. Whoa. Okay. Who needs feet? I don't need those. Fine, we'll do it back here. Yeah, that works. Yes. It works. Making sure your passengers are nice and comfortably when you're doing 362 kilometers an hour. We're fine, I think. Those things are way too low on the floor. Okay, yeah, that's dangerous. A little bit compensating, but it's fine. Doesn't bother me much. I wonder if I should do dumb arrow on it. No, I'm not gonna ruin the aesthetic that much. Alright, take care. Alright, so we're gonna pivot over to BeamNG now, once I export the vehicle. There's gonna be a simple export, and then as the game opens I will be taking a short break, and then we'll continue on as soon as it's open, as soon as automation is, well, sorry, as soon as all the other game, well, the freaking games in BeamNG is open. So yes. So I'm just gonna export it real quick. As I wait for it to export. Unfortunately, it's gonna take a while. Yeah, I know. Go. Yep, so I'm just gonna take my like 4-minute break, and then once I come back I should be ready to go and switch over to Beam, because yeah, anyways. I'm just gonna leave it here, and then yeah, I'll be back. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream so far, because it's actually the first time I've done a stream that it's longer than an hour, so yeah. Anyways, see you in just 10 minutes. 5 minutes actually, sorry. Hey, I'm back. I'm just quickly busy with setting up BeamNG. Takes a while to get going, so yeah, awesome. And yeah, thank you for not leaving. I appreciate it. Persistence is key, some people might say. But anyways, just bear in mind, I'm quickly busy setting up Beam as it is, so it's gonna take a while. But I don't know what's going on with Beam now. So I'm quickly gonna go restart my Beam, just see if it is a simple little thingy that just happens sometimes, so we'll see. Anyway, yeah. I think this thing is gonna pull like a train. That's what I think. Given that it is a very, very, very strong machine. So, yeah. Yeah, no, I saw they did some work on Beam. So that is a thing that I saw. I'm actually very excited to mess with because I've not played Beam in a while, so we'll see. There we go. Loading UI. So I think I'm gonna switch over to Beam. Just hold on a moment. Beam, 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 beam. You guys should see the swap happening now. Whilst I'm swapping. It's all good, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm literally just waiting for Beam to launch. Yeah, I know. I know. There we go. Beam should be opening now, so the usual messages of doom. Yeah, I know. I'm busy closing it. Just waiting for the freaking thing to not mess up. Play mod. Why? Why would I play mod 3? Why? No, let's just go free play. Yeah, I know. Why do I still hear automation, even though it's closed? Ah, slower. Slowly, but surely we're getting there. So I think I'm gonna go to the grid map, the usual place where I go and mess with things. Let's go here. The natural place of anybody that knows how to drive at speed in a straight line. Okay. Don't know why it's doing this. Okay, hold on a moment. It has seemed my Beam has decided to be an absolute arse. Fine. Yeah, I know, normally it isn't for me like this too, but that's fine. I'm just gonna wait for it to load in and then I'll probably mess on with it, but anyway. Anyway, yeah, I know what you mean. Just waiting for the game to respond. So yeah, it is just a little bit of a pain. Yeah, no, I usually mute myself whenever somebody in the background is busy or something. I don't want that, yeah, don't want that to come in through my streams because, well, yeah, not cool. Anyway. Back to the loading screen of Doom. Okay. See, my OBS is telling me a little bit of a draw is happening on my CPU and all so on. But so far it looks okay. I'm just waiting for the game to load. Yeah, it's one of those moments. We're fighting the urge not to yell at it. But anyway. Yeah, it'll be fine. I think my mods are breaking the game though. Yeah. Being patient helps. Yeah, it'll be fine. It will work soon. It is running again in the background, so it's good news. Slowly but surely. Come on. It's almost there. Yeah, it's almost there. 80%, so yeah. Oh, whilst that is loading, I am gonna go look at cool vans. Yeah, because I think the game realized that I was about to turn away from it until it worked properly, and now I finally realized that it is sort of needs to work. So yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's almost there though. Which that's cool. Yes, there we go. Now it's finally realized it needs to work. Okay, not that way. Stupid. Let's back to the screen of Doom. Okay. I think maybe it's picking up all the mods and stuff I have on it. So it could probably be a little more crashy than normal. There we go. I found a Mavean. Apparently it weighs 3,691 pounds, which that's a lot. Yes. No, my mods aren't disabled. I still use them occasionally, whenever I need to, or want to. Sometimes I do need, but ooh, yes. Sounds glorious. Okay. Turn that off. That's annoying. This is so much more fun. I am kind of curious to see what I can tow. So, yeah. I'm just gonna quickly configure my UI. Wish these freaking annoyances can go away, just like that. Now that the game is working, it's working properly. Goodbye, don't need you. There we go. So, the very first thing I'm gonna be doing, now that I know it runs freaking phenomenally, zoom out a bit. Actually, I want to see. Yeah, I know it's F12. I can see my map. Also, it's actually, yeah, it's fine. Actually, I want to see if it will work. They actually fixed it. Want to see what it will run. It does a wheelie. Good news. Hey, it tried a 9. That's good news. Ah, it's all good. Yeah, we're gonna do a speed test in just a moment. I usually do my speed test out this way. So yeah, now I'm just gonna do a speed test. After my van decided, no, it's time for severe burnouts, but spinning in just flat spinning it. It's not that much flat spinning, but it's still good. But hey, it works. I'm just gonna do a simple speed test. There we go. I'm just gonna see how. Okay. At least we know it does good burnouts. That's good. Just gonna get into position and just lay my foot into it. Yes, it is built that way. There's 200. There's 230. Whoa. I'm surprised it doesn't get any warmer. Yeah, yep. Okay, fine. Do all your spinny thingies. Okay, it's done its thing now. Okay. I love how this thing just, yeah, I agree, right, proper car. It is a proper car, I agree. It will do 200 all day. If I do this, it's 245 mile an hour. This is at least a nice part about BeamNG. Taking out the cameraman. That's why, because the front tire blows every time you go above 250. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, no, it just decided on its own, nope, it's done with life. I need to see the tow test of this thing. It should be able to tow quite a lot of weight. Let me just quickly grab a trailer. If this thing had a cartoon horn, it would be perfect. That's how much weight? 17. It's 2,000 kilos. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. See, the problem with that is it can't go down to first gear because of how it's set up, so to speak. It will not allow me to do that, even if I tried. So now we're gonna add a metric fuck ton of weight, I believe is the measurement. I believe that's the correct way of putting it. There we go. Doesn't squat it that badly. Well, that's comical. This thing is definitely gonna fishtail. No dashboard, it's fine. Oh, it's starting to fishtail. That is bad. Yeah, it'll be fine. I love how ridiculous this is. Trying to get it straight to go, well, at as fast as it wants to go. Not squatting it as badly. Yeah, I know it's limiting me. I actually want to see what it does to the quarter mile with all that weight. $17.2 is not as terrible. And I get automatically turned around, which that's good. I think that weight is a bit ridiculous. Considering it's rated for like 1.78 tons and we're already jamming it down with like 2.8 tons. Here's the nice thing about the weight is it does nice burnouts while it's attached, so that's good news. Braking third gear, yes. The automatic turnaround function of this thing is actually pretty nice, so. But it's denting the hell out of this frickin' back piece. The whole rear bumper assembly, it's bent to crap. So, do what anybody does that has a little bit of an idea. I'm just gonna change trailers. Not gonna get something that heavy, more to what it's load rated for. That's 9,000 pounds. Interesting. That's 1.4 tons. Okay. Replace current. This should be easier to pull for this thing, given that it is meant to be loaded at that weight. There we go. Come on, connect. This is more what it is loaded, meaning rated for. Up. There we go. Yeah, okay, that's not too bad. Looks about how it's supposed to sit. Just like how that connection is extremely floppy. Yeah. Because if I'm gonna start, if I do, once I do get another PC, as soon as I do, then I'm gonna probably do a lot of streaming during the week as well. Like an hour or two during the week. That is the plan. It's gonna be probably in the morning. Well, morning for me, so it's SAST. Don't know how much time that is across the world. What time that is? Come on, don't you spin on me. Fuck. You too, man. Take care of yourself, and yeah. I'll see you during the week then. Or next week Sunday, when I do my other stream. But anyways, take care of yourself, and we'll probably talk later. Also, anyway, Goody, 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 goody. Will do. Bye. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna switch back to probably automation. I'm gonna go finish that vehicle. I had a lot of fun with today's stream, but I'm not done yet. I'm still gonna be. Okay, break the back of my bus, why don't you? I need to remove all the other vehicles. So yeah. Remove others. Go. Actually want to see what this thing can run in the quarter. There we go. It did a 10. That's interesting. Hey, goofy bus. I like my goofy bus. But yeah, anyways. Anyways, I'm gonna be getting off of here, so have yourselves a awesome day, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the stream. Let me know down below. Also, if you'd like to support me on any other platform out there, I do have a Patreon at the moment. I've not uploaded quite a lot of things over there. I have a few things hovering there. But anyways, it is free to access until there's a paid member side as well. That's more of the where I keep my content, and also where you can have access to, well, the engines I build. I have quite a lot of engines over there. So yeah, anyways guys, have yourself a awesome day, and I will be seeing you next week during the week, I think. But anyways, take care of you guys, and take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you, bye bye.